Brought to you by FreePlay human-powered devices, cat5.tv/freeplay.
Adam Kujawa is joining us tonight. He is Anti-Malware Man. Adam, it is so great to see you.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for being a part of the show tonight. Anti-Malware Man fights the evil malware that is out there afflicting our computers, our internet, slowing things down, stealing our info, stealing our identities.
Protecting the web. I'm all about the web, being Spider-Girl.
I got to do it.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about the web and how Malwarebytes is able to help protect us. Great to have you on the show, Adam.
Great to be here.
So one of the things about the modern web is that obviously it's a wasteland of danger out there. Malwarebytes is one of the best products in my opinion to help protect Windows users from some of the vicious malware that's out there. We have a lot of Linux viewers. What do we do, and is there something that we need to do? Are there threats out there that can affect us?
Well, the biggest threat to Linux users and all users of all operating systems are phishing scams, which are basically just electronic communications sent to users that trick normal users into clicking something or typing in personal information and stuff like that. They appear to be coming from legitimate sources like your bank or a video game or airline, but in reality they're just masks that are used by these cyber criminals to steal your information. And they send these through email. You'll see a lot of them on Twitter, on Facebook. Sometimes you even see them in video games like RuneScape, where people will try to get other people to click on a link to show a certain special something, and it'll ask for their credentials.
I've received emails in the past. I'm sure Sasha probably seen them. You've probably seen them at home, where it looks like a legitimate PayPal email or a legitimate email from my bank or my phone provider. UPS is another one that we see a lot of here in Canada, our shipping provider. There are lots of those kinds of things that go around. What makes people create these emails? What's in it for them that they would create a fake version of PayPal, for example?
Well, it really depends on how intricate the scam is. It could be from just a normal user who wants to steal other people's passwords and usernames to entire cyber criminal organizations that want to steal your money. They want your personal information, your credit card numbers, social security numbers, anything they can to sell them on the black market.
Wow. It's a dangerous thing. So for those viewers who are not familiar with phishing, what it is basically is it's like Adam is saying, a way for you to get tricked as an end user into providing information that gives them ways into your accounts, ways to access your data, your bank account information, maybe your social media accounts. And one of the dangers, I think, Adam, is that a lot of people use the same password across multiple platforms. And so if I am able to hack Joe Blow's website where I used my same password as I did on Twitter, now all of a sudden they've got access to my Twitter account as well.
Exactly. And they'll use that account to spread even more of their scams. They hijack accounts on Facebook, on Twitter, and they use them to spread even more malware.
Now, what do you do as Anti-Malware Man to help stop this? I mean, obviously there's letting people know and coming on shows like this and just education, public education, understanding what the threat is, because it affects Mac users, it affects Linux users, it affects Windows users. What is it that you do to help to protect end users?
Information is probably the best weapon against these type of attacks. Phishing has been around for almost 20 years, and it hasn't changed a whole lot in how it's being done, except the different mediums it's using. And that means that the cyber criminals are obviously, it's working for them. And that's a problem. And because phishing exploit a vulnerability in an operating system, it exploits the human mind, and it tricks people, and people fall for their scams. And it's been happening for years. I'd say almost the entirety of human existence, that people have been fooling other people to give them what they want. So being able to patch that from an anti-malware point of view is to just try to teach people as much as we possibly can about how to protect themselves, how they can protect their families. And that usually involves being a bit paranoid, but never really trusting anything unless you are absolutely positive of it. And even still, in some cases, that doesn't matter anymore because there are ways to mask an email to make it appear that it's coming from a legitimate source.
Right.
Your look like it's legitimate, especially with the shortened down URLs that you see on Twitter and things like that. It's really hard to tell exactly where you're going when you click that link. So the best thing to do is to look over, if there's a link involved, so that you scroll over, see where it's going, pay attention to the URL and make sure that it looks legitimate. Always look for a security certificate and things like that. Don't trust anything that asks you to give you its personal information, especially if you didn't ask for it.
Right, and that's a good point. And I'm sorry, we do have a little bit of audio break up there, Adam, and Adam's just explaining about the dangers and how these kinds of things can trick you into thinking that they're legitimate. For example, PayPal sends you an email, and it says, we're going to be locking down your account if you don't log in today. And so you see the link and it says www or https://paypal.com/whatever, and you think it's legitimate, and so you trust it, and so you click on it, but it actually takes you somewhere else.
Is it too late once you click on it, or do you have to enter information? Right? Like at what point?
Sorry,
That
what's that,
depends.
Adam?
Phishing has expanded a bit. When you might see a link like that in an email or something like that, and you might get taken to a forum or some sort of page that asks you for information. A lot of times what we're seeing lately is that it'll take you to a page with an exploit pack attached to it.
Sure.
It'll exploit a vulnerability in your browser, especially for Windows users, and infect your computer with malware.
Especially for Windows users.
Especially for Windows
Putting
users.
that out there.
So right at the beginning, as soon as you click, and that's on social media as well, like on Facebook and on...
Exactly. Yeah. But the flashback malware that was going around for Macs not too long ago, it was the same way. It was spreading. It would exploit people's computers.
Right.
Via phishing and things like that. It's really simplistic in how it's done, and it's very scary and very real.
Right. So the danger, or the way to test these things isn't to click on the link, because then that might actually already have exploited you. Installed something like a keylogger that all of a sudden can track when you type in your credit card or banking information.
Exactly.
So by hovering over, when you hover over any link, it will pop out a little text that shows what the actual link is, the full-length link. So
okay.
if it's http://www.something.com/paypal.com to make you think that it's PayPal, it's not actually PayPal, right?
Okay.
That's
so
kind of
simple.
one of the ways that they tend to do it.
Scroll, don't click.
Yeah.
That's copy the link copy the URL for the link and put it into Google or something like that.
Yeah.
And see if someone else has already fallen for this and said, this is a phishing site, beware of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So copy the link, and then you get the actual link, not just... Don't highlight it and then copy Control-C, because that's going to copy the text, which is the fake link. What Adam's saying here is actually right-click on it, copy the link location. That's going to get you the real link. Don't paste it into your browser, but paste it into Google and see if it comes up with any results of somebody saying, oh, I did this, and now I got locked out of my bank account, and my dog died, and my wife left me, and this and that. Identity theft.
The truth is, your bank will never email you, right?
Correct. I mean, they're never... What's that?
They'll never ask you to plug in your credentials or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one method that's still going on, has been going on since I was a kid. And so, but obviously it works. I mean, people are still falling for it. It's really surprising. But like I said, you can't patch human brain. I mean, you can try to teach and you can try to inform, but these days people are even more trusting than they used to be with social networking, and nobody really cares anymore. So that's why these cyber criminals are doing it. They're making lots of money. They're succeeding in their phishing exploits, and it works. As far as Malwarebytes anti-malware users, if you own the Pro version, we have a web blocking feature, and that's updated every day, multiple times a day, with current phishing sites and exploit sites and things like that. So even if you click that link and you're using our product, it will block you actually going there, getting exploited, or getting your information stolen.
That's good.
Fantastic. Now, so it boils down to education for users who are not on the Windows platform, just understanding the safety and what you need to do to protect yourself. Because even if you're not able to get those executable Windows exploits, if you click on a link that looks like Facebook, and they look exactly like. Adam, you sent me a document that you've written that has some great examples of these types of sites. And if you don't mind, I'd like to pull that up on my screen just to demonstrate to the viewers how closely these things resemble all these different websites.
Yeah, they got very good. Back in the day, you might remember emails that were slightly off. They might have the wrong punctuation or spell things incorrectly, and spot those as being, this is not right, this isn't real, this is a scam.
Yeah.
But these days, they could just copy and paste the source code and just into an email or onto a new web page.
Right. And I think as well, we live in a world now where everyone is raised with the internet, and so we've all essentially seen, we all kind of have a general, and I don't mean all, that's a generalization, but a lot of people grow up knowing how to do basic web design, knowing how to look at the source code of a website and steal the code and then build a website that looks exactly like it. It's dangerous stuff. So
that's the easiest.
Sorry?
That's the easiest part of it. And that's why it makes it possible for anyone like high school or junior high kids to be able to put this, and it works.
Right.
All the way up to cyber criminals.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. But the biggest concern for me with our viewers is just the fact that you're just really risking having your information, your person, your banking information, and everything stolen. I really want to bring this up, but just give me one moment here, because I hope to find this in an email that you had sent me a little bit earlier. Here we are. Okay.
All right.
Unfortunately, I didn't have this up on my screen at the time. Here we are. Okay. So this document that you sent here, Adam, just provides some exceptional information. What is the licensing of this Phishing 101 document, which I'd like to bring up on the screen? Is this something that we can post for our viewers as a resource?
Oh, sure. It's the blog on Malwarebytes Unpacked, our Malwarebytes official blog, and I wrote that up.
Excellent.
All the sources are cited on it and everything like that, but feel free to post that. And I think it's a very valuable resource. I wrote it with the intention of our users and anyone else out there to read it, to learn about the threats out there, and learn how to protect themselves.
Great. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually put this up in the show notes for episode number 267. This document, it's excellent what Adam has provided here, but one of the things that I really wanted to point out is just how real these fake websites can look. Look on the left there, and that's actually the real Tesco website. And over on the right here, it's asking you to log into Tesco, but this is a fake website. Okay? So you enter your username and you log into that website, and all of a sudden, they have your actual username and password, and they're able to log into the real website. So it's scary stuff, and these days it looks so real.
Mm-hmm. The scary stuff for me was the information about Facebook. When you scroll down and you hit like if you like something, and all of a sudden, I've done that a ton of times because I really do like these things.
It looks awesome. I'm going to like that. Yeah.
So I have to like a lot less.
So what can our viewers do? If you're on a Windows platform, we're going to absolutely recommend Malwarebytes. Check it out, malwarebytes.org, and that's spelled BYTES. I'll put up on the screen there for you, malwarebytes.org, and links in the show notes for episode number 267. So we know that the product is going to protect you quite well against phishing, malware. What's the difference with malware and phishing for those viewers who are not familiar with the terms?
as a method of attack. It can include malware, and more often than not, you'll see phishing involved in just trying to steal information directly from the browser, directly from you. But there's plenty of phishing attacks that also employ malware, either with the drive-by exploit type thing I was talking about, or they'll actually attach the malware to the email. Recently, we saw an email that was going around that looked like a British Airways itinerary. It looked exactly like one, and it had an attachment that said, "This is the itinerary for you to save and print out or whatever." And when you clicked on it and you opened it, it was malware. It's actually a botnet malware that was similar to Zeus or SpyEye. So it was pretty dangerous, and it was pretty sneaky.
And virus scanners don't often pick this stuff up, right? Because there's a different classification of malicious software. A virus is a virus, and malware is a different type of thing.
Well, malware and virus can go hand in hand sometimes, but malware usually involves a lot more than just what a virus could do, which is easily destructive. Malware involves things like ransomware malware that'll hijack your whole computer and make you pay a fine, or fake anti-spyware type program that might tell you that you're infected with things, and if you pay them, then they'll get rid of it for you, when in reality you're not infected with anything.
Right, other than the very software.
That's where the malware comes into play. As far as protecting from phishing from a software point of view, there are numerous products out there that have said we can block phishing and things like that. And the best thing to do, if you can categorize them as spam or categorize, I mean, that's very helpful. But really, it just comes down to being aware of what you're clicking on, and that's probably the biggest to learn. And it's not just email anymore. Like I said, it's Facebook, it's Skype, like we're using right now. Recently, a malware was spread via Skype. There was a message they used which said, "Lol, is this you?" ? And a link.
Yeah, and you see that one on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Exactly. If I see that, my instinct is to click on that to make sure it's me or not me.
Yeah.
And if I did that, I'd get exploited by malware.
And is there an easy way to go back, or once you've clicked that, you're done?
If you're infected, you're infected.
Yeah.
Luckily, our product, we do have updates almost every few hours. I mean, so quickly. We find malware, we categorize it, we make definitions for it, and we get it out to the user as fast as possible. There's been plenty of occasions when Malwarebytes Anti-Malware has detected what we call 0-hour malware, which is just brand new, no and we usually detect the signature we wrote for something else.
And I think that's part of what makes Malwarebytes, that gives you such a great reputation, is the fact that when everybody else is looking around trying to figure out, I got this infection, how do I get rid of it? You're already there with a fix. And
exactly.
And that's just fantastic. So, now you mentioned that Phishing 101 was a part of a blog. Is that a blog that we can share with our viewers? Because that sounds like a fantastic resource for those who are interested in learning more about phishing and malware.
It's blog.malwarebytes.org. It's called Malwarebytes Unpacked. I'm the main contributor for that, but we also have other of our research people, our management, developers who write on there and write posts. Pretty much teaching anyone about the computer security world, about development, about our company, and we have posts on there about phishing, about ransomware, about remote access Trojans, which have made a lot of noise lately, especially in the international cybercrime world. So we write one every single week, sometimes more, and it's a good resource to keep yourself informed and updated with what the new threat is, or how to protect yourself from old threats.
That's
which
fantastic.
People don't know how to do.
Well, so bookmark that. It's blog.malwarebytes.org. So you can see malwarebytes.org down at the lower part of your screen there. Just add blog dot to the beginning of that. Adam, thank you so much for being on the show. Now, we love your product. We're going to give a couple of copies of the product away. One to our chat room. We've got some ballots for local viewers as well that we're going to do that. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Anti-Malware Man. Thanks for sticking up for us novice users. There you go.
Protecting the web.
Just like a superhero would do.
That's right.
Category 5 TV is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. Thanks for watching.